Welcome to Experian Exchange, a new series featuring exclusive interviews with all the latest news and insights with Experian's business leaders. Experian Exchange will give you access to the latest thinking from inside the world of Experian, covering everything from finance to fraud and even technology to transformation. Welcome to Experian Exchange. I'm Rnie. Fraud is a $1 trillion problem around the world, causing huge issues for businesses and consumers alike. Joining me now to talk more about how to harness innovation to prevent fraud is Kathleen Peters, Chief Innovation Officer at Experian. Welcome to Experian Exchange. Great to have you with us, Kathleen.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
So just how big a challenge is fraud right now for businesses?
Well, fraud has been an issue and a challenge for businesses of all kinds for many, many years. And it's interesting in my role, particularly over the last 10 plus years, I've been asked, what is the hot topic in fraud? What are we most concerned about in fraud? What are the fraud trends? And so one of the things that I find myself saying year after year is fraud is on the rise. It seems like this is a constant. The thing is that this year, it's really different. And there has been this whole opportunity with generative AI, which has not only given us great tools to help fight fraud, but it also has powered the fraudsters. So in a way that we've never seen before, fraudsters are able to harness some of the power of artificial intelligence to create even more convincing scams and to commit fraud at a scale that we have not seen before. So while fraud is always been on the rise, this year feels uniquely different.
So then how do you tackle it in a different way, I guess, because of the unique challenges that were presented right now? How do you use innovation to tackle these challenges?
So tools like machine learning and artificial intelligence have been really good tools for innovation around tackling fraud. They're going to help us create the right analytics so that we can classify the fraud and really detect it before it can cause the maximum amount of damage. So that's one big change in the way that we can innovate. Another way is really harnessing that capability of generative AI. A lot of stopping fraud has to do with the fraud investigators and the teams at places like banks and financial institutions and businesses that are trying to stop digital fraud in particular. And in these cases, the more complex and the more effective these fraud attacks become, the more complex the solutions to stop it. So we need to have a variety of fraud techniques that we're applying to try and catch the fraud. And to do that, we need more complex strategies. Things like AI actually will help us create the right strategies to be able to effectively deal with these new types of fraud.
Can you give me some examples of the sophistication and the way fraudsters are leveraging the technology? I mean, you mentioned they're using AI. Can you give me some examples?
Sure. I think a really famous example that many people may be familiar with was several weeks ago. In fact, there was a scam that happened in Singapore where an individual was led to believe that he was on a Zoom call with other executives from his company who requested that he wire transfer $25 million. None of the people were on the Zoom call. These were all deepfake, AI-generated, very realistic images of his colleagues, and he wired the money. So this has made a lot of headlines, and what I'm hearing from clients is they're worried. Will their current solutions that they have in place and their current fraud strategies be enough to thwart these kinds of new fraud attacks? So I think this is a really important opportunity for businesses to reevaluate what they have in place right now. There are new types of very sophisticated fraud attacks that are coming, and we're going to need to use all the tools and capabilities that we can to detect that fraud and to stop it. So this is a great time to look at the technologies that you're using. At Experian, we are moving fast ahead. Within our innovation lab, we have data scientists who are evaluating new fraud detection techniques, looking for new fraud patterns and how we can repeat and recognize those in the future. this is a great time to take stock of what you have. Make sure that you're ready because the fraud is going to keep moving and keep advancing. We can hardly imagine. So this is a great opportunity for folks to do a review, get some new techniques in place, partner with your vendors with technology, and use the very best AI techniques to fight the new fraud that's coming.
Tell me a little bit about Innovation Labs. Can you give me some examples of what this is and how it works? What are you doing at Experian?
Yes, so the Innovation Lab, actually Experian's had a lab for more than a decade. And the idea with the lab was we set out to hire some of the best and brightest minds, PhD engineers, data scientists, to help us uncover new insights in the vast data that we have to solve the most challenging problems of our clients and to work side by side with them. Over the past year or so, we've actually renamed the lab from being Data Lab to Innovation Lab. And that was a very deliberate decision because we wanted to bring the work of the lab closer to our lines of business. And that has benefits in both directions. It allows the lab to be focused on those challenges which are most pertinent in the market today. And then also when the lab creates these exciting new innovations, we can get them into the hands of our clients and consumers faster. So that type of innovation, especially around fraud, is so valuable. And so as the labs are studying these problems and they come up with unique solutions, we want to get those in the market as quickly as we can.
Kathleen Peters, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Experian Exchange. Please subscribe to get access to all the videos in this series. To learn more, go to experian.com/exchange.